Hey guys, I'm Stephen Adindu, the lead coach at the Career Accelerators. And today we'll be concluding on our 3-part series where we'll cover specifically how to write great user stories. Now, if you haven't watched the first 2 videos yet, we strongly encourage you to do so, just so you build the foundational knowledge required to make the most of this particular video and learn how to create great user stories. If you do enjoy this video, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you'll be one of the first people to get notified when we publish a new video. Also, would like to hear from you. We'd like to hear your thoughts. So please feel free to leave a comment. With that out of the way, let's jump straight into the video. Now, the first thing to do in terms of creating great user stories is to, first of all, make a list of your end users. You need to define what their pain is or what their need is, which you're trying to solve. Some organizations may describe end users as user personas. Both generally mean the same thing. Be specific about your user. If there are multiple end users, consider making multiple stories. Remember, it's all about the user, not about the developers, not even about the product owner. Each story should be valuable to some group of your end users. Now, secondly, don't think about your users only as external customers. It's true that your stories will be mostly about them, but it's also true that you have to consider internal users where applicable. And this could be your administrators or editors. Thirdly, feel some empathy. Give your user a name. Think of his or her habits, what issue your product is going to get resolved for them, and how you're going to make sure or make that path easier and faster for your users. Listen to feedback. Talk to your users and capture their problem or need in their words. There's absolutely no need to guess at stories when you can source them directly from your users. You also need to define what actions they may want to take on the platform. The next step in writing great user stories is to define what functionality each user expects. How is he or she going to interact with the product? Also remember, you need to capture one action per story. If you want to write something like, as a customer, I want to browse items and add them to the cart, you're better off splitting those into 2 separate user stories. The other thing you need to consider as well is to describe an intention or a need, not a feature. For example, instead of saying something like, I want to manage my profile, create a few user stories like, I want to be able to register, I want to be able to upload my profile photo, I want to be able to link my credit card to my profile. Each story will have a different value. Remember, these stories need to be independent. Now, remember to keep it short. Users don't care what library you'll use to let them browse the list of items. So leave all the tech details aside and just keep it short and sweet. Within your user story, avoid describing user interfaces. We've defined stories as negotiable, remember. That is why all great user story examples do not include any user interface or user experience details. Find out what value this will bring to users and eventually to your product. Also ask yourself, will any party pay us for this? Now, the last piece of our user story template is dedicated to a value that users get after performing an action on your product. It may not seem like a big deal, but it's often the most tricky part of a user story development. This is because there could be multiple benefits of the user story. Now, if this is the case, then focus on the most valuable benefit and feel free to include more than one benefit. Also, the value component of a user story helps with prioritization of the user story. Understanding the value that a user story provides to the user will determine how that particular story is prioritized and when it's committed to an iteration or a sprint. Always remember that your so that section or value section should always correspond with your metrics and KPIs. It should either improve the user experience, increase retention rates, shorten users' journey to getting the issue resolved. Each story should contribute something to the general goal of the product. Another tip on creating great user stories is to discuss your acceptance criteria and an optimal implementation strategy. Now, this discussion usually takes place during the backlog grooming session, where the author of a user story is asked to provide more details or to clarify a story. So if needed, this discussion helps us to understand how that functionality should work and also helps us to unanimously agree on the acceptance criteria. This way, the Agile team reviews all the user stories one by one and provides their inputs. Now, following this discussion, the entire team will hold a brainstorming session to find out the best way to implement user stories from the tech perspective. Now, most of these activities can be performed by the person solely responsible for creating these user stories, typically the business analyst or the product owner. However, the earlier others are involved in the process, that is to review and provide their views on a user story, the better the quality of the user stories. So I do hope you found this video helpful. Remember, this is the channel where forward-thinking individuals accelerate their career. If you're looking for guidance on accelerating your career or are looking to make a career transition, then please check out our website via the link in the video description. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you'll be one of the first people to get notified when we publish a new video. And we would like to hear from you, would like to hear your thoughts. So please feel free to leave a comment. Take care, stay safe. Till next time, see you soon.